We're going to attempt to do these without our unit circle. So, yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to do it though. So first problem here is the cosecant of 5 pi over 3. So we need to think of a few things. First thing is, where is 5 pi over 3 on the unit circle? So here's what I do, even now sometimes. It's helpful to just draw a little circle like that and think about where this is. Another thing that might be helpful is 5 pi over 3 is the same thing as, 10 pi over 6. Sometimes it's helpful to like convert it backwards. Okay? So if you just multiply it by 2, you get 10 pi over 6. Okay, so when you're going around the circle, you know that this is 3 pi over 2, right? Which is the same as 9 pi over 6. One way would be to count, so 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's right here. Right there in the So given it's at that point, we can then find the coordinate pair. You might have to memorize. And you can also just look at where it is. This is going to be a half in the x direction, right? Yeah, and then negative radical 3 over 2. See?
Wait, so if you just times them by 2, then it'll tell you where it's at.
Huh?
It's not, what? Why are you laughing? What are you talking about? No, wait. If you just times it by 2, you can know where it's at.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm just saying, this can help you figure out where it is, yeah.
But you can times it.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily want to do it for all of them.
Because if it's already a 6, then you
You gave her that solution expansion.
No, I didn't. I said add 2, and what are you talking about? No, it's talking about adding. And I only works for one quadrant. Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so now the cosecant. Now we got to figure out what cosecant is. So that matches with sine. Those are pairs. Sine is the y. So it's going to be 1 over the y. So the y coordinate is negative radical 3 over 2. So 1 over negative radical 3 over 2. Okay. And then remember, if it's like a fraction and a fraction, we have to flip it, right? This one will actually just get flipped. This becomes negative 2 over radical 3. And then, anybody remember what we have to do from here?
Yeah, the 3.
Like keep change
3 over 3.
Yeah, we're going to multiply by
Times, yeah.
radical 3 over 3.
See? So it's,
That just
2.
becomes,
Yeah.
yeah, and these just give us 3, right?
Because it can't
Yep. So negative 2 radical 3 over 3. So you could actually do that all without the unit circle now. It might take you a minute, it might take some practice, but
Right.
you could get to that point. All right, and the thing that we're going to add to this today is we're not just going to do 1, we're actually going to do all 6 of the trig ratios. We're going to skip a few here. All right, so this one, 480 degrees. Now you might also be thinking, well, that's not even on the unit circle. So if you remember last week we had coterminal angles. That's where you're gonna like add or subtract 360. Remember that?
360 minus 480.
Yeah. So subtract 360, then we get 120 degrees. Right? So now you need to figure out, and I'll give you a second, try this on your own. Try to write the coordinate pair for 120 degrees. What's that coordinate pair? Don't say it out loud.
Oh, I know it.
Huh? So find the coordinate pair of 120 degrees.
Oh.
He said don't say that out
Yeah,
loud.
don't say it out loud.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So it's helpful for a lot of people. It's helpful to like draw the unit circle. Some people can just picture it in their mind, but if you draw it, think about where 120 is, and start with like I always start with one of the corners because those are the easy ones to know. Like this is 90 degrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 120 is the very next one, right? So you add 30. Yeah, negative a half, positive radical 3 over 2.
So that's for the. That's where.
Huh?
No.
So now this is all we need to find all 6 of those.
Okay, but do we do anything extra if it's 480?
So that's what we did. We subtracted 360.
Yeah, but like it's like anything else with it.
No, it'll still be it's still the same.
Okay.
All right. So now the sine, that's the y coordinate. So the y is radical 3 over
Oh,
2.
so yeah. That's what.
The cosine is the x. It's negative a half. And then the tangent is the y over the x. So then for tan, we're going to do square root of 3 over 2 over negative a half.
Keep the numerator.
Yep. Keep change left.
Or change the denominator.
Keep the top, multiply, and flip. Keep change flip. From there, we can try to cancel, which we can cancel the 2's. So we just have negative square root of 3. Now, at this point, to get all the ones that match, them lined up the ones that match. Sine matches with cosecant. It is 1 over y. That's the same thing as just flipping it to fraction. So cosecant is then 2 over radical 3. But we can't leave that just like that because you can't have a radical in the denominator. So then we multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. We get 2 radical 3 over 3.
Okay.
For secant, we're just going to flip it again. Flip half, it becomes 2. So just negative 2. And for cotangent, this one isn't a fraction. So when you flip it, it becomes 1 over negative radical 3. We're going to have to multiply it by radical 3 over radical 3. Which is negative radical 3 over 3. So we get all 6 trig ratios from that one value. It's not working for you?
No, it says on this too.
Oh,
It says on this too. The
Peyton's got it.
clearly it's because that's negative.
I'll just hop with that.
Yeah, there's
You don't have to put it in. Sorry.
I did it.
You did it. Exclamation point,
Wait.
exclamation point.
I like the anonymous thing. Yeah.
What's my number?
I did it.
Your anonymous name is Nathan's Judy.
I know.
Bro. Gloria.
I know.
Mine's Dorothy.
Who's that? Dorothy? That's my great grandma's name.
Oh, my great grandmother was Shirley. Mine was Margaret.
That's my great. Alright, I'll do one more before you guys leave.
Why does grandma done?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, alright. Negative 3 pi over 4. So negative 3 pi over 4. Think about where this is going to be on the unit circle.
Here, here.
You go in
No,
negative.
no,
negative.
So it's down.
So
Yeah. So we're going backwards. Negative 3/4 is going to be here, right in the middle. Which all of the ones that end in a fourth are the radical 2 over 2's, right?
Yeah.
You just have to know the quadrant, which is quadrant 3, so they're both negatives. So negative radical 2 over 2, comma, negative radical 2 over 2. All right, so then the sine is the y, which is negative radical 2 over 2. The x is also the same.
It's a lot of typing.
yeah, I don't like that. Man.
Yeah,
Because you have to put S2 or T.
You don't have to type it, it's okay. For tangent, what's that?
Y over X.
Huh?
So it'd be negative 1. Or 1, it'd be 1.
Yep, just positive 1. Because it's this over this, exact same thing over itself. So.
Yeah.
Now for cosecant, you flip it. You just flip a fraction. It does become negative 2 over radical 2. So in this one, we have to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2. That becomes negative 2 radical 2 over 2. The 2's then cancel, so we get negative radical 2.
Okay.
Now we don't have to do it again for secant because it's the same thing. These were the same, so it's also negative radical 2. And then what does cotangent? What happens when you flip one?
It's
You just
It's
flip
one.
it. Yeah, just one. Okay.
Oh.
You just flip tangent. So it's
Well,
just.
you weren't telling me. I was right. Duh.
No, you said you did it. You did it.
All right, now I got one more
Oh yes, the easy one.
challenge for you.
Oh, I know what that is.
So this is a multiple choice question. Figure out where 3 pi over 2 is and what the secant of that is. Don't say that aloud when you get the answer. Just select one of the 4 options there.
I can't remember what the abbreviations.
So secant goes with cosine.
Oh.
Secant is
It's 1 over the x coordinate.
Oh.
Don't say the answer. Type it in, but don't say it.
I gotta get it right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yes.
See what you guys think.
Oh, it's yes.
It doesn't say if you're right.
Well, a lot of people are.
I say that's right.
All right, let's see. Who's correct? Only one student correct.
Let's go.
Okay, so that doesn't make any sense
Because
it's
it's 1 divided by 0.
divide by
I'm right.
0. Where's the 0 from?
That's the x coordinate. It's 0 negative.
The X is not zero.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that
down here.
is-
0 negative 1.
You were talking about. They were talking about.
So 1 over 0.
Okay.
Okay, well I got that
Oh,
too.
that.
I'm back.
See, I don't know where it is on there, so it's
You
hard.
answered one wrong question, that doesn't mean you're stupid.
Can I use my square, my circle thing as like the
Don't use it. No.
Can I use the notes to figure out what the abbreviations are for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're just
I don't
going
know
to this
either.
last one.
For Honda C.
All right, last one here, and then I'll show you just another example. So, what of all the trig functions could you get undefined? So think about which ones could you get undefined. Check all that apply. So if you think it's all of them, check all of them. If you think it's just the one we just did, check that one. Check all the ones you can get an undefined answer.
Wait, you're not. Yeah. Is this the last one?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another one on like the paradox thing after I do these. Which of these 6? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It is not all of them. These 2 could not give you undefined because they're just going to be an x or a y.
Yeah, I do that.
But couldn't one of them be zero?
Yeah, 0 is defined. 0 is 0.
It's just hang on 0
All these other 4 though are like 1 over. They're all fractions, so they could. They
Of
could
course.
So it'd be these 4. If you're leaving in a minute, there is 2 homework problems.
Of course there is.
That was
Oh.
Kaylin asked yesterday.
We haven't
No, it's
had
gonna
one.
we're gonna.
I'm
Or
gonna
is
use
it,
my
is
circle.
it
I
2
don't
or is
know
it 12? No.
Well, it's
Alright. I'm using my homework class tonight.
Oh, where's my
It's
homework?
not that
I
bad,
know
though.
6 trig ratios.
So, does it just not go in the grade book for us? Or is it like, we
I'll
get
just
the
give you
points
a 5.
Oh, you just give us the points for it?
Oh. Usually you get exempted.
Well,
a
I'm
good homework
a homework
That's a high dollar.
Well, you should
I'll
have
buy
done
it.
better on your quiz.
But I'll do another example for the people that are staying. I'll give another example.
I really did, yeah.
Well, what are we
That
talking
doesn't mean I'm the
How much of it?
Maybe the good of one before. Not gonna
You know
lie,
what, Josh?
if David's in here, I might use my circle for this homework. I definitely will use my
That's all right.
circle.
I can't monitor you at home.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Shut that in.
Uh-oh, Maggie.
All right, I'm going to do another example. If you're sticking around, you can see this one.
What's the homework?
It's right there. It's on Google
Is there a
Class.
picture of it? That's it?
It's on Google Class.
Oh, exam.
So I'm going to just show you another one. If you know, if you want to work on the homework, that's fine.
You didn't post it.
It's posted.
He's literally just posted it. It literally says there's nothing here.
Refresh your screen.
He threw it at him today. Because it's not going to be in the street.
Just found out.
Well, no, it's
Eric.
All right. So we need to figure out where 2 pi over 3 is. The easiest way to figure that out is to do the thing where you multiply it. Yeah, times by 2.
6 over, no, I mean 4 over 6.
Right, 4 pi over 6. So where is that?
It's before 180. What are you doing?
Right there. 4 over 6. Because this is 1 over 6, 2 over 6, 3 over 6. So it'll be just after that 4 pi over 6. There. So then the coordinate pair is going to be negative a half, radical 3 over 2.
If it's a 6 of a half, wouldn't it be? No.
Huh?
Oh no, this is. I don't know.
The one down here would be 5 pi over 6.
Oh.
So that's our coordinate pair. So then we're going to do the sine first. So we're going to say the sine of 2 pi over 3. What's the sine of that one? Sine is just the y coordinate. So radical 3 over 2. Then we'll do the cosine. That one's the x.
Okay. So it's negative 1 half.
And then we'll do tangent. So that's going to be radical 3 over 2 over negative a half. It's the sine over the cosine. And then we have to do our keep change flip. Radical 3 over 2 times negative 2 over 1. Twos cancel, so it just gives us negative radical 3. And then we have to do all the pairs from these. So sine goes with cosecant. So the cosecant of 2 pi over 3. And if it's a fraction, we're just going to flip it. It just becomes 2 over the square root of 3. Then we'll have to rationalize that. So then we'll multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. And we get 2 radical 3 over 2.
What would those trade?
No, because there's another 3 in front here. These 3's
No,
can't
no, the
cancel.
other.
So they don't cancel the square root scales. This is the next step. I just flipped it to start. And then you get rid of that square root you multiply by radical 3. Okay, secant of 2 pi over 3 is opposite of the cosine, so you flip it, which is negative 2. Negative 2 over 1. Let's flip this. And then with tangent, we have cotangent. You flip this, it becomes negative 1 over radical 3. That
Wait,
one
what
we
does
did-
that last name say? CST? CP?
This one?
Or no, the last one.
COT. Cotangent.
Oh,
Yeah,
CST.
And we'll multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. Give us negative radical 3